Here we have some random questions that our audience would like to know, and some of them seem silly, but at this point, you never know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Have you seen Lizardmen or any other types of aliens?
Reptilians, yes. Nephilim giants. What's in the water? People think that mermaids are beautiful beings and creatures, and there are things that come out of the water that people don't understand are real. There are things that come out of the water that people would have never imagined are a thing. What made this? There are scientists that throw experiments into the water and then surveil them like they would a fish farm and trout and make sure that they grow. Mermaids are not pretty things. Mermaids are hideous. The real story of the Little Mermaid is when she wanted legs, so they cut her tongue out to give her legs. Real mermaids are nothing pretty. Reptilians are nothing pretty. There's human hybrid experiments, and people, again, TV shows try to desensitize people to these things by using TV shows like Sweet Tooth and making it cute and okay. And no.
Yeah, there's a new show called Inside Job on Netflix. I've just seen it. It's like this. I don't know if you have the time to...
I've heard about it. Yeah.
All right. Does that mean Bigfoot is real? Is it?
I would not put anything past at this point. Bigfoot, okay. What is the other one? Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
Giants. I have seen something run towards me that has made me pass out and have also made me run like I've never ran in my life. I have seen something coming towards me that had the body of a dog, but the head of what looked like a llama. They run human and animal experiments together and create these things. But there are things that have been around for decades, and they're hidden now, and they're only used in certain times.
Okay. So have you touched a reptilian? Have you been in close contact with them? Because I'm asking.
I've been in close contact with one, but I've not tried to touch it.
All right. Because people might say, "Yo, it's dark. You didn't see it clearly. Maybe they're wearing a mask."
I've seen something clearly. Yeah, I've seen it clear, and I've seen some things that I will never be able to unsee. I have major PTSD. I have night terrors. I have flashbacks and nightmares all the time. I've seen some things that I can't even put into words.
I see. Do they all speak human language?
No.
All right.
There are things that speak multiple languages and that will speak to you and scare the hell out of you. Or there are things that will growl at you and act as an animal.
But they're intelligent, right? Are they intelligent?
It's kind of like, for me, for the experiences that I've had, there are some things that it's like everyday animals that you see. They're just as scared as you are scared of them. So as long as you're not trying to hurt them, they're not trying to hurt you. But then there's some things that are angry and in pain and evil.
Next question. Do you have any thoughts or comments on flat Earth?
Not to take away from what we're talking about, but I know everybody has their own opinion.
Yep.
But to me personally, I do not think that the world is round. I know everybody gonna lose their shit on me for this one, but I do not think that it's round. But that's my opinion.
Why do you think that? Why do you think that? That's very interesting because I've been looking into it, and there's a lot of things that are fishy. So why do you think the Earth might not be round?
Because of the things that I've seen and how long it takes to get somewhere, how long it really takes to get somewhere. And especially in my time in trafficking and in my experiences with having to leave from California and get to Germany like that, I don't believe that. So
maybe
that's just
you
me.
were on a very fast train or a flying car that's very fast, so that's why they were so fast. Maybe
I've been on something that to me I described it as a spaceship. I've been on something and my pimp laid me down in a bed and told me to just relax. He put an IV on me and told me he would be there very, very soon. And I have walked into something that was not a car and was not an airplane, but they had a bed and it was an open space and they laid me down. They put an IV on me. I fell asleep after they gave me drugs and we were there quickly.
Okay. All right. So what do you think is going on in Antarctica?
I think Antarctica is a safe zone for the things that people don't realize. There's like a hole in the very center of Antarctica that nobody touches. There's a spot in the center of Antarctica that nobody can go to, but it's on the map. So I think that there's many things that happen there. I've seen some things where my traffickers have had submarines to go through the water to be able to get to where we were going. So there has been situations where I have been driven in a car somewhere. I have very bad, I get claustrophobic easy with some situations because of this. And I've been put into a submarine and taken somewhere through there and through the water. There are spots in the middle of the water where there's like metal things that have something written on top of them, and it's like a door.
Okay, I see. Do you have any comments on General Flynn? Like, what do you think of him? You know why I'm asking this, right?
I don't know if you've ever, kind of.
Yeah, because there's whole
Please tell me.
fiasco between Linwood and General Flynn, and a community like ours were heavily divided. You know, some people are very, stubborn. So I think your opinions might help ease that tension a little bit to help us get united to focus on one thing, which is the deep state.
Thank you. And I respect Linwood's opinion. I respect Linwood's word. I have never spoken to Linwood myself. I have never had any dealings with him, but I pray that one day I might be able to. His opinion and the way that he is approaching the things that General Flynn is guilty of, I agree. But with the situations that I have in the different categories of people that keep coming at us, and the danger that we've been in constantly after we say one name, after we have, tell one thing, we get slammed in many different ways. So right now, that's what I'm going to say about General Flynn. I respect Linwood's word and I trust his word as the truth. And I have seen many generals that sit in many high places from Russia, Sweden, Australia, and California, and they do not get where they are for nothing. They are where they are because of something, and more than likely it is evil. And they are guilty of something that involves child trafficking and human trafficking. And I have been abused by generals. I have been bid on and auctioned to very high accountants, judges, attorneys, lawyers, pastors, doctors, pediatricians. No one is exempt from being in this life and being a predator on the other side in this life. But I do see that the higher you sit, the more you've done, and I don't trust anybody. So with General Flynn, as far as General Flynn is concerned, I agree with Linwood.
Yeah, because his brother has done an interview or live talk with Linwood. Yeah, there's one thing he said that doesn't sit right with many people. He said he's not an expert on this issue, so he's not going to talk about it. And I don't see how anyone's going to believe that. So yeah, thank you for your opinion.
Right. To be a general and to not know about child trafficking, to be a general and not have any education or background on it, that's bullshit. I don't believe that at all.
Maybe I'll try to send that clip to Linwood and hopefully he sees what you think of him.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. What do you have to say to those who blindly and strongly support General Flynn? If we have to, give them some kind words.
I don't dislike you because of that. I'm not going to be the one to bash you, disrespect you, or tell you that you're wrong. I believe that everybody should use their discernment, do their research, and use the gift that God has given everybody naturally to open your eyes and to use your mind and to see the truth. And that is up to you. And if you don't see it now, you'll eventually see it. And even if you may not apologize for your stupidity or your lack thereof knowledge of it, then you'll eventually have to see that you don't live in the world that you think you do. that's not your fault, because so many people don't know that. And when it all comes out, which I pray that it does one day, because I don't think that I don't want anybody, like I said before, to just take my experiences and take what I say and run with it and believe that what I'm saying is the absolute gold and the truth. Please use your discernment. Please do your research.
Okay.
Everybody is powerful in their presence in their own way. So do your research.
Oh, agreed. So next question. So because you're in constant danger and we all know about it, you have never been safe, actually. So people were worried, and they were wondering if there's any so-called white hats. Do you know that term?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So has anyone like that ever
If there's white
contacted
hats,
you and to offer
no.
any sort of help
No.
or no? So you just
No.
been left alone out there to survive, if that's how you call it.
Yes, and as well as many other survivors, millions of other survivors, are scared to come forward, are scared to tell the truth, are scared to bring this type of things to you because everybody wants to call you crazy. You're lying. You're making this up. How do you know it was this person? How do you know it was that person? I want the evidence. I want this. You don't necessarily get up from being raped and ask for a DVD for a souvenir. That's not how that works. So millions of other survivors go through the same thing. There's no help. These organizations are recycling. The 501c3s are hush money organizations. You see them running to the opposite countries or the opposite states of where they should be, where they're stationed to help, and they don't do anything about their own backyard. They're not doing a damn thing. You see some military people, unfortunately, are not doing the right thing. Do you see the police that what we have been through with the brotherhood police and the double side to the badge? There's no one to call. And how many times would you be abused by someone before you realize that there's no authority that you're going to call on to help you because they haven't helped before and they're responsible for all of this? I've been abused by authority since I was a baby, and I have tried every single thing that we could think of, and my mother has tried everything. She has went through every avenue that she could, police, investigators, court systems, and there's nobody. They get suspended and fired and replaced mysteriously. They come up missing, or somebody shuts it down and dismisses the case and hushes it back up. So I have not been contacted by any real person. We have been contacted by people like you that are willing to be courageous and be bold enough to put the truth out there no matter the repercussions, and put the truth out there no matter how many people call you crazy and a liar and controlled opposition and whatever else they want to call you. We've only been contacted by people like that, people like you that have said, I have a platform, so let's just try to wake people up. Let's just try to give them the information and to create this army of we the people, because we the people have to get pissed enough to say that there's more of us than there is of them. And with millions of other survivors that have went through this, there's so many survivors that are sitting back waiting for somebody else to push a little bit and for people to wake up a little bit more, because if they come forward, they're just going to be hushed and silenced and called crazy and everything else too. So why say anything? You know, there's millions of victims, but why haven't you heard from them? Because of this situation right here and because of what we're going through. And once again, I say this all the time, we are not scared to die. We are scared to die without the truth. So this is why we turned our cameras on.
Okay. After all of this, after everything you've been through, you still find some peace with Jesus Christ. So that's one thing I'm kind of curious, because I see Linwood, I see many other guys who touch on this subject, all say they follow Jesus Christ, their Lord and Savior. And back then, not too many years ago, I was a hardcore atheist. Now I'm a little bit more open about this, but the mindset of people like me, or like how I was if Lord did exist, why did he let things like that happen to you? And why would you, still believe in him after everything you've been through?
I agree. I used to think about it the same way. When somebody involved in Christianity called themselves a Christian, I don't like to label things, but when somebody called themselves a Christian and came to me and said, you have to read this Bible and you have to accept what I'm giving you, and that's the gospel, and that's the only way that's going to save you, I would look at them like, you don't see my pimp, but you want me to see something that you don't see. You want me to believe in what you believe in, but you don't believe in what I'm going through. I've been in many situations where I felt like I just want to die. I don't understand why I'm going through this. And if there is a God, then why is he letting this happen? I have cried out to God. I have cussed out God. I have had conversations in the darkest corners, and I felt like I didn't get an answer, and I did. I have been in situations where I should not be sitting here. I have seen my friends die in ways that I will never be able to not see. I will never be able to live down. I will never be able to go to sleep sometimes at night because it just keeps coming back. I've seen things that I shouldn't have seen. I've seen things that I can't unsee. And I know that I have been Catholic. I have been Seventh-day Adventist. I've been in Mormon temples. I have been atheist. I've been into witchcraft. And I was always looking for what everybody was saying about Jesus through all of these things, which is why I respect every religion now, because I'm like, I've been there, done that. And I know that my heart is my heart and where I stand and who I am. But I've seen the power of Jesus Christ.
Okay.
I've seen what he is capable of. I have seen situations in my life happen that I just shouldn't be sitting here right now. So I believe in Jesus. And like I said, that wasn't always the case. And I don't want to push that on you or your followers. I believe in Jesus. And if I would just say to try to talk to him, I would just say, if you don't believe in him and if you don't know what you believe in, just try it. And you don't have to be this rehearsed person. You don't have to know exactly what words to say. You just got to talk to him like me and you are sitting here having this conversation right now. And you will see that the world around you is in chaos, but something brings you peace, and that's Jesus. And I know everybody has a different religion and everybody has a different belief system, but this is what I've seen and this is what I've been through, and that's what I believe.
So, can you tell us about what kind of life you're living right now?
Right now, we were blessed enough to be warm and inside this place that we're in, but usually we're in our car. We sleep in our car. Sometimes we can get gas station food, or we may be able to be blessed enough to be in a place where we can make our own food. That's not all the time. We have sat in a place, and in the same second that we have found a place, we've had to leave. Because someone is banging down the door, someone has found the place. I've documented all of that on my social media. We have, it's just been moving constantly, looking over our shoulder constantly, trying to figure out constantly what's next. And we're not asking for anybody's money. I don't want your money. I would love if you could please just wake up. I would love if you could please just do the research. We will starve. We will sleep in the cold. We will figure it out. We still pay rent on a home that we're not even in. So this is not about money. This message is priceless. And I don't need anybody's money for you to hear me. I just need you to hear me, please. And if you don't hear me, fine, but hear another survivor that's trying to tell you the same thing. Do your research, use your discernment, and please fight, because it's going to take people to stand up to the situation, because you see what the authorities are doing. You see how well you can get past it with the system. The system is rigged so that you can't get any further. You're called crazy. You're shut down. You're silenced. The logic is gone. You're thrown into somewhere for saying the truth. You are arrested and you are silenced for your own information and for your own truth. Something is not right, and everybody knows it. It's just, what are you going to do about it?
So for those people, because they don't know how the world really works, is there anything that you know that you think they should know in order to find out that something or many things are seriously wrong with their lives, their own lives? Is there something that you can point them to that they can find in their own lives to see something's really wrong?
I think that everybody can see that there's something going on around them. It's just seeing it with a different perspective, seeing it with new eyes. Again, the foster system is rigged. The judicial system is rigged. The justice system is rigged. And I think that everybody can say, if you've ever been in a custody battle and you have seen that you may have had the evidence to everything that has gone on, but usually the court leans in the favor of the parent. That is not in the best interest of the child, because if you have a child in the courthouse, you keep them coming back till 18. That is where the court system makes their money. That is how they make their money, by continuing this problem with a child. The system is rigged, and I know that everybody has had something in their life that can resonate with them to say that something is not right. With everything that's going on with COVID and the vaccinations, you are in trouble for not obeying and for not bowing down to the control of someone else's made up rules. All of a sudden, you need to take this poison in order to go to work, feed your children, feed yourself. And that is the only way that now it's going to work. Why now? Why now? What changed and why now? And why is it that you have had the freedom to make these choices yourself, but now all of a sudden you'll be thrown into a camp, picked up and thrown somewhere because you don't agree? There's so much that you can look around to see what's wrong, but it just depends on you. It's what are you willing to wake up to? What are you willing to do? And how can you be proud of your silence with what you find out? I think everybody can look around them and see that something is not right, no matter where you are. It just depends on how willing you are to fight it and to stand up against it. And you know that there's so many more people that want to, but they don't know how. They don't know where to start. There's no leaders. There's no one brave enough to do it because everybody is so scared. That fear is one hell of a problem. It's power. It's control. I think starting with everything that you can see wrong right now, not being able to feed yourself, not being able to feed your children, wondering, can you go to work? Can you not go to work? Are we doing the virus today? We're not doing the virus. It's serious enough for plexiglass, but it's not serious enough for hazmat suits in the street. If this virus was so deadly, I'm not saying there's not a virus, but if this virus was so deadly and we have masks and gloves in the streets now all over the place, why aren't there people with hazmat suits picking this up? Because it's so deadly. It's those type of things that people have to start looking at. It's those type of things of looking of why isn't mainstream media talking about trafficking as much as we cover BLM and as much as we cover COVID? How come nobody's talking about trafficking at the same level? That's just as prevalent, if not more imperative than everything that's going on. So start with the little things and then ask yourself, what are you willing to do? How far are you willing to go down this rabbit hole? And then what are you going to do about it? Because it's going to take an army to wake this world up. It's going to take people to stand up and say, I'm not playing this game anymore, because this is the world we live in where your authority is trying to put their thumb on you. And either you bow down to it and you accept the control or you fight against it. That's what this nation was built on. This nation was built on breaking rules. This nation was built on fighting back. So it's up to you. How hard are you willing to fight? And are you willing to fight? Because that's what it's coming down to. And I mean out in the middle of the streets and fight.
Many of our audience, they have been estrayed from their friends and families. They've been lonely because of this, because they try to spread the truth. And I just want to let them know, let everybody know that you're not alone. And we have other people, that were fighting with you.
Thank you so much for fighting. I thank you for listening to this, and I thank you for doing the research that's needed. And I thank you for making a choice to fight. Please, because so many children need you, so many survivors need you, young and old. There are some people that grew up in this life that started out as babies and they're adults now. And because of the habit and the addiction and the time that it took, and homeless people that are, you see some homeless people talking to trees and, talking about the government, and you're like, they're crazy. No, they have been trying to speak out for forever, but there's nobody that will stand with them and fight with them. So now what do they have left? Millions of survivors need you. This is not just about me. This has never been just about me. I'm just the one yelling the loudest right now. So please stand with me. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Ming, for having me.
Thank you so much for coming here.